Hey, I have a few smaller topics today that I want to cover. And it's like fashionable to be late, right? I want to talk about this Direwolf news, what George has been saying, and I finally watched Logan Lucky, so we'll circle back round to that. Firstly, let's get into this Direwolf news. Colossal is a bioscience company that in recent years have made headlines with de-extinction projects, such as the woolly mammoth and the thylacine, through genetic engineering. They've been making some big strides. Recently, you will have seen headlines on the woolly mouse. Weird fun fact, Peter Jackson, director of Lord of the Rings and all that, is actually an investor in this company. And we'll circle back round to him as well later. I quite like wildlife stuff, and Colossal is a company that I'm like aware of. I know what they're claiming to try and be doing, and I think, oh yeah, that's great. I'm all for it. Holy moly, it turned out they were keeping a big secret. They kept this on the down low. Forrest Galante is someone that I tend to listen to every now and again. You might have seen him on like Joe Rogan, or I mean, he's got a podcast that's called the Wild Times Podcast, and he works as an advisory board member for Colossal. And he has said that he was made to keep quiet for like 2 years on this. He knew when they were born, still couldn't say anything. Couldn't say anything until the day that Colossal made the announcement.
An extinct animal has been bioengineered to be brought back. And not just one, two that have been announced. No, three. How many? I don't know. I don't know that they've told about three, Kyle says. I know other things.
I
but
thought
three.
you would know that detail.
No, I know other things, but I know of three. I've been on the inside of this for over 2 years, and we've been working on this, on the Direwolf for over 2 years. Longer than that. That's how long I've been involved in this. But it's been highly confidential. I've been under strict NDAs. Nobody's known about it. And then, I knew when they were born, and I knew 3 or 4 weeks ago that this was going to get announced this week, and everybody's been talking internally about it, and then woke up this morning, it's like, hey.
Any scientific progress is great, to be honest. And I know that there's a bit of an argument over whether it's a true direwolf, but this is the best copy that is going to be made from these genes, these genetics that they have managed to recover. And I think it's great. It's a big show off for them, and I think it's a bit like the space race. Anything that kind of shows that off a bit, it gets interest in that subject and more people into that field, and it progresses it. I think, you know how they say any publicity is like good publicity? It's that. So however you feel about these direwolves, I think is good. I think it's progress. Don't be all scared of Jurassic Park and all that, Jesus. Someone else who thought it was a massive win was Mr. R.R. Martin himself, who was put in contact with the CEO of Colossal by Peter Jackson. Literally, he rang him up and was like, yo, you want to give this guy a ring because he's got something of interest to you. Like he had abducted his cat or something. One thing led to another. George was invited to go and visit these direwolves. Yeah, bibbidi bobbidi boop. Back in February, he visited the 3 pups. Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. Personally, I think they should not have chosen Khaleesi. Nymeria is so much of it. Like, why? Why? Even if you just, like, they're all white as well. Why not go for Ghost or something? Like, if you're going to honor the show or the books in that way. George even stang us with his first blog post about it afterwards by saying, I've got big news. And no, it's not the fucking Winds of Winter. George, read the room. Of course, George being known for Game of Thrones is like, why he's like had a picture with the direwolves and has made headlines for it. And whenever he does, everyone says, George, where's the next book? And he had an interview with Time magazine where they read him this tweet from Trey the Explainer, who has a channel on YouTube. Some really good cryptid videos. He recently did a Mothman one. I quite agree with the owl theory as well. I like the cryptid stuff. Not I believe in it. I enjoy it.
Have said online, we got real direwolves before we got Winds of Winter. Can you talk about where that project is?
That's the curse of my life here. There's no doubt Winds of Winter is 13 years late.
We got literal direwolves before the Winds of Winter. And I wouldn't call that backlash. It's just a statement. A funny statement, a true statement, but it's not backlash. It's, yeah, he's bringing up the Winds of Winter because, George, you are late on this. Very late. Like, I know I'm a little bit late with this whole video on the subject, but I mean, I like to think that I'm good at procrastinating, but George is like the Yoda of it. Anyway, next thing, I also watched Logan Lucky, and I don't if you haven't seen it, then I don't want to like give away spoilers, but there's a scene in there where prisoners have a riot. And as part of their demands, the warden's like, yes, I approve a copy of A Dance with Dragons for the prison library. And they're like, no, we cannot provide a copy of The Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring as they have not yet been published. Obviously, there's outroar. Me watching this, I'm like, was this scene made for me? It then goes on to like, oh, there were two recent guys in who know all about the new stuff with the hot dragon chick. Obviously, the premise is that these guys have been in prison so long that George should have finished the book by now, and therefore copies should be available. But it's not. And also, in that film, it's all like the family has a curse. Leads me back round to George saying, like, the Winds of Winter is his curse. George, you started writing these books. You're the one that got us all invested in this. This is why we're all harping on at you to finish it, because the only person that can fix this curse and uncurse yourself and us is you. So be a bit like Stannis and grind away on that MDOS, yeah? Like, I know you are enjoying your successes, and I don't blame you. But if it's a curse, you're the only one that can undo it. So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts on these direwolves. What do you think they should have called them? Do you like the name Khaleesi? What would you have gone for? Also, do you say Remus or Remus? Because I've heard it said both ways, but Romulus and Remus is just always how I've known it. Yeah, let me know. Do you think George is ever going to finish this book? Let me know. Links for Patreon, Instagram, X, or Twitter, whatever, will be in the description below, along with the link for the interview with Time Magazine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheerio!